Hey guys, welcome to what is now becoming a weekly Tesla Model 3 Thrifty update. And we're doing this, why, Tommy?
Because our Model 3 is still in the shop.
Yeah, as of this recording at least. But we do have some interesting news to share. We also had a really interesting experience this week where I got to go behind the wheel of a Model S in Ludicrous Plus mode. Let's just show them a little bit of that video, which is going to publish this week for our next episode. There it goes. Oh my God! That is 60 right there. Russ, thanks for bringing your Tesla Model S performance. And tell me about, first of all, is this your first Tesla?
No, I had a Model X before, and liked it a lot, Model X 75D. They've gotten away from the numbers now with the new one.
You ready to see a slingshot get absolutely wrecked?
And we're going to read some very interesting comments and answer one very important question that affects you as well as Tesla that we're just kind of scratching our heads about. So let's get right to it. First and foremost, Tommy, I got a call from the shop that's fixing our Model 3, and I got a call from one of the head honchos, and he was very gracious. He basically explained the situation, he apologized, and he said that they are working as hard as they can to get the model back to us as soon as possible.
Which is huge.
Which is huge, yeah. And I was really, thrilled to get that phone call because I kind of felt like we were making these videos and nobody was listening to us, but apparently the folks at Rick and Bach have been listening to us. And by the way, they've taken a lot of heat because of this, and I think unfairly so. They've been a Denver dealership for a long time. Their reviews are actually really outstanding online. And so all of you guys that are blaming the shop, I'm not sure that's fair. These guys have really worked hard to try to fix our Model 3. The problem is we just can't seem to get, or they can't seem to get the parts from Tesla that we need to fix this thing.
Exactly.
Next is, of course, the big question that this brings up, and that is, why is nobody at Tesla actually calling us or commenting on this, or at least letting us know what the hell is going on? Because we've got some really interesting emails recently as well as comments, and they're not good for Tesla. So let's read a couple of those, and then I'll tell you what I mean.
Yep, so a gentleman named Randall sent us an email, and he was very kind. He said, I want to thank you and all your staff. You guys do a great job, and I never felt like any of you or your journalists have tried to manipulate or misrepresent any vehicles you evaluate. Well, I appreciate that, and I think that's true. We really strive for that. So he and his wife were looking at premium sedans, so 7 Series, CT6, A8, Genesis G90, and the Tesla Model S. He likes EVs. It's something he enjoys. However, he said, I'm extremely disappointed at the way Tesla has handled your parts issue and the process in which the car has had to have all the fixes done. And basically, he's saying that it's put him off from the car. He says, I admire Elon, but it seems quite obvious that his customer service department needs some development. I and the wife have decided on a Genesis G90. Seems like a good car. Thank you for all your input on helping us make a decision on that car.
Yeah, and that's really the big question that this video is going to get at. When we read the comments, when we read the emails, there seems to be a theme, and that is a lot of people are put off buying a Tesla because of our experience. I think we need to kind of talk about what we do and who we are. So my background is in general news assignment. I was basically a TV reporter. I have a master's degree in broadcast journalism. And we look at this job as journalists. We're not fanboys. We're not owners. We're journalists. And so I like to say we really don't have a horse in this race, except to the extent that we own the car, because we wanted to kind of have the typical owner experience and find out what it was like to own and drive and live with an electric car. And one of the things that being journalists allows us to do is to have really good relationships with all the manufacturers. And basically we know their PR departments, we work with them, they kind of tell us about their new products. We get the keys to the kingdom, in other words, the keys to the vehicles before you guys, and that's mainly because we're journalists, right? We're not trying to sell cars. We don't own any stock in the company. We're just trying our best to be objective and do reviews. And when something goes wrong with one of our test vehicles, or when we do a story and that story shows the car or truck in a negative light, my phone rings pretty much right away. And for the most part, the phone calls aren't like, what the hell did you do? They're like, what happened? Can you explain this to us? Let us explain our side of the story. What can we do to make this right?
Right.
And I think the reason that the manufacturers do this is because they understand that, we have a significant number of people who watch our stuff, who read our stories, and who base our buying decisions on that. And the question that I have, the big question I have is, why isn't Tesla contacting us? We try to contact them. There's nobody there that replied to the email that I sent. I've gone through a handful of PR people at Tesla, and if you read these comments, and we will read a couple of them, if I were in Tesla's shoes, I'd be like, what the heck is going on with this car? Why are we, bleeding so much, and how do we stop this? And yet nobody at the company has lifted up a phone, sent us a text, shot us a Facebook post, anything to let us know what the hell is going on. At this point, millions of people have watched the series, if not tens of millions, and yet the one company that's missing from the story is Tesla. And we would love, Tesla, if you're watching this, we want to tell your story. We really do. Call us. We'd love to get your side of the story. We're not here trying to sell cars or not sell cars. We just want to find out why it's taking so long for such a repair to take place. And is it indeed, something that's going on with the procurement process? Is it because parts are being shipped to new car production versus...
Well, look, the point is, it makes it seem like they don't care.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And the issue is, and the scary part is, if they don't care about a source
yeah.
that has 800,000 subscribers, which, is a pretty sizable amount.
Yeah.
I mean, what about, just the average person going in to buy a Model S?
Yeah, what about you guys, right? What does that leave, what does that say about the company's customer service when it comes to you guys? And we've actually talked to a number of owners, and this week's episode of the Thrifty is a guy who actually owned a Model X, and he just traded in on a brand new Model S, and we wanted to get his side of the story. So, we want to get not just the owners, but we want to also get the full story out there. And once again, if we're that insignificant to Tesla, what does that mean for you if you buy a car and put down 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000. This Model S was 100K that we profiled. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the comments? Okay,
so we have hundreds of comments all in the same vein. This is just a handful of one just picked out in the last 5 minutes or so. So someone commented, thank you. Wife wanted one of these till she saw all your trouble. She got a Jeep JL instead. Thank you for showing us your misfortunes. Glad Tommy struggles backing up.
Yeah, I know, poor Tommy.
R. Reed says, seeing this, I would never buy a Tesla. Glad you guys could share this. Daniel says, I was considering a dual motor Model 3. I understand that new products and logistics take time, but I cannot afford to be without the car for more than 2 to 3 weeks if what happened to you happens to me. Jonathan says, wow, this is mad. It's definitely something to keep in mind if considering a Tesla. DU says, would never own a Tesla now. JK Fuel says, my Model S had minor damage to a fender, took 4 months, never again, no more Teslas for me. Luke Walsh says, this nightmare could turn out to be one of the most valuable Tesla consumer reviews out there, an everyday car with exotic car repair times and prices. Unfortunately for TFL, it puts a dent in the summer's business model.
Yeah, and no, it really doesn't. I mean, we're lucky that we have other vehicles that we can review. We're actually very, very lucky and very swamped with trucks and cars. So it doesn't really hurt our business model. What it does, though, it just makes me wonder about you guys out there, because once again, our Tesla now has been in the shop, 3 months? And if this is a vehicle for your day-to-day commuting, how are you going to live without it for such a long time? And these are valid questions. Well, there's really three parts of this question, right? There's the repair shop, there's the insurance company, and then there's Tesla. We've now heard from the repair shop. We're going to try to figure out and do a story on the insurance company. And then the third part is, of course, Tesla. And we would love to do a story with Tesla. And we're not here trying to, we have no axe to grind. We just want to tell the manufacturer's side of the story.
And we've tried reaching out to them on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
And they just, they will not, return our stuff. And like you said, so Shukan Flash says, as much as I love Teslas and would love one, this is why I couldn't get one. My personal vehicle is also my work vehicle, and every day without it, I can't work.
So Tesla, this is a kind of a video for you if you're out there and if you care about your customers, not your potential customers, the ones that are thinking about buying cars, but your current customers, like the ones who actually own them, who spent $50,000. Reach out to us. We'd love to interview somebody from Tesla. We would actually love to do a factory tour and show how the vehicle is built. Any of that would be incredibly interesting. We would love to chronicle the delivery process. We would love to kind of figure out what you guys do at your typical repair facility. I know you're going to start doing insurance. We'd love to do a story on that. These are all great stories. We want to tell them, but we can't right now because you're just quiet.
Yep. Okay. As always,
yeah, check out tflcar.com and check out this week's episode of the Thrifty 3 where I almost puked because, well, that Model S with Ludicrous Plus mode is really, now I want a performance Model 3, Tommy. I know, it's crazy, but yeah.
you want a Model 3 after this?
I want a performance Model 3 after that Model S Ludicrous Plus mode. It's crazy. That's the thing, right, about Teslas. You know, as frustrating they are, they're still crazy cool. All right, see you guys next time. Ciao.